HTZK4 vacuum switch vacuum degree tester adopts the latest excitation coil. Using the magnetron discharge method to test the vacuum degree of the arc extinguishing chamber. Now need to dismantle arc extinguishing chamber. At the same time, a microcomputer is used to synchronize one data processing. The vacuum degree of the arc extinguishing chamber can be tested sensitively on site, reaching 10 to 5 MPa. The application is very wide and the scope of testing is very broad. Today we use this vacuum switch vacuum degree tester to conduct a vacuum degree test on this 10 kV circuit breaker. The high voltage output terminal outputs a voltage of 3 kV. And then this is a thick wire that goes to one end of our circuit breaker. Now this is connected to the upper end of the high voltage switch. The other is connected to the ion power supply. Both directions can be switched. But be careful when testing. The requirement is to conduct the test in the open state. This is a terminal for the ion supply current. Then connect to the ion current terminals of the instrument. Connect it. Then here are the two magnetic field voltage terminals. It's connected to our measuring sensor. Our instruments must be reliably grounded before testing. Make sure the ground wire is in good condition. The yellow and green wires are connected from the terminals of our magnetic field voltage. Then connect it to the magnetic control coil, yellow by yellow, green by green. Note that this is where it needs to be hung. Then this surface should fit the circuit breaker. And tie it up, because it will shake when measuring. If you don't tie it up, it will fall easily. Be sure to tie it tightly. Now the instrument is connected to the 220-volt power supply. Then we turn on the power switch. You can see that a test interface appears. First, we need to conduct a leak test before testing the vacuum degree. If the test leakage is serious, we don't need to test its vacuum degree. So we can directly conduct a leak test on it. Just click on it. It performs leak detection tests automatically. The test results are out. Then we just reset it. Then we can perform its vacuum test. Before testing, calculate the pipe type based on the diameter of the sheathed pipe type. If the pipe diameter is less than 80 millimeters, then it is pipe type 00. Just set the number 00 here. If it is greater than 80 and less than 100, let's set it to number 02. If it is greater than 100 and less than 110, let's set it to pipe type number 04. If the pipe diameter is greater than 110 millimeters, then set it to pipe type number 06. What I am setting now is a pipe type number 02. After the setup is complete, let's test. Click on the test interface. The instrument automatically performs the test. Now you can see that our measurement terminal has jumped a bit. Then the measurement results have come out. After the test is completed, we can click print. The report will be printed automatically. When the test is complete, click reset. Enter our main interface. What needs to be noted when doing this experiment is that our vacuum testing is usually conducted in dry and sunny weather. And wipe the surface of the vacuum tube clean. And the time interval between each test shall not be less than 10 minutes. Otherwise, the ionized air in its tube will not have time to return to a normal state, which leads to distortion of our test results. And it is recommended not to test the vacuum degree of the same vacuum switch more than 3 times a day. When testing the vacuum, you should first check for leaks, just like we just did. Test again after passing the leak detection. And when installing our excitation coil, its designated position should point to a connection hole in the arc extinguishing chamber. In the process of testing, our human body must not come into contact with high voltage and magnetic field voltage output terminals, because the test instrument is a high voltage, and the instrument must be reliably grounded. The high voltage output line and ion current should be separated. Prevent them from interfering with each other. Also, be careful not to short-circuit the magnetic field voltage lines. Otherwise, it will seriously damage the instrument and our personal safety. Before experiment, the yellow and green wires must be connected to the electromagnet first and then connected to the instrument. After the test is completed, pull out one of the yellow and green test wires on the instrument individually, but be careful not to touch its exposed parts with your hands. After the test is completed, we turn off the power. Then short-circuit our high-voltage output terminal to ground to discharge, in order to avoid residual voltage on the capacitor of our test product. Now let's turn it off. Then discharge. After the test is completed, for the high-voltage terminal, we need to discharge it after shutting it down. After the discharge is completed, then we can remove the stitches.